Good morning, happy Sunday, and welcome back to another edition of the Kentucky Derby morning workouts presented by Twin Spires. Live here, of course, at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. The track is fast, the weather is clear, it's warming up, it's 42 degrees, a beautiful morning to kick off your week with 13 days to go to the 150th Kentucky Derby. Let's take a look at the headlines. Cox duo catching freedom in just a touch. Headline yesterday's work tab here at Churchill Downs. Throwback horse Just Steal for the coach, as well as Mage's little brother Doorknock also were on the work tab here yesterday. Oaks Points leaders Tarifa and stablemate Gingin worked in company for trainer Brad Cox, part of a plethora of works here on the Downs yesterday. And Lecomte winner Track Phantom had an early 5 furlong breeze here this morning. We'll take a look back at that just a bit later. Caitlin Free and Kevin Kilroy going to be taking you through this morning's action. Kevin, pleased to be joined by you, and first time we've worked together.
First time we've worked together, Caitlin. I can't believe it. Definitely a big fan of yours in terms of all the work that you've done here.
Ditto.
In the paddock, on the backside, and as an analyst picking the turfway.
A long day yesterday with workouts. Let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard here, and we'll talk about some of those workouts a little bit later, including Sierra Leone, our points leader. He had to work yesterday at Keeneland. Yeah,
Sierra Leone continues to impress. Another one who's interesting in here is Doorknock, who worked with us in company with Society Man. Now, Doorknock, keep in mind, is the only horse to have ever come back on Sierra Leone. That was the one loss for that Sierra Leone. Chad Brown's nice, likely favorite in the Derby.
Just Steal, of course, for the coach, worked here yesterday. Domestic Product worked elsewhere. Society Man and Mystic Dan also were on the work tab.
Yeah, what about West Saratoga? Larry Demerit has been talking about how he's trying to get the distance in his runner, and it's interesting to see him work. Worked well on Friday, and he's going to keep on asking him for strong gallops at further distances. Very similar to what how Mage got it done last year to win the Derby.
This is the also eligibles page here. Horses on the outside looking in. Gramo the first next in line. Hades out of Derby consideration, so we have 4 that are still listed here as also eligibles. But let's take a look back at that workout yesterday from Sierra Leone. That was at Keeneland. Worked in company with stablemate White Palomino, who was impressive in winning a maiden special weight not too long ago. Sierra Leone on the inside with the blinkers, White Palomino on the outside. And Kevin, just take me through this work a little bit and what you are seeing from this Adonis of a horse.
Adonis, who has a little bit of a swimming stride, right? But definitely one that gets it done in a big way. So we see White Palomino really come up on him and ask him to move forward. And Sierra Leone's got to respond, right? So we see him maintain his edge, maintain his advantage in front. You can really see how he throws his legs forward here as we switch leads and start moving down the stretch. Now, they're going pretty evenly, going smoothly. This is the first work since winning the Bluegrass Stakes. But really where I get impressed is when we come out of the across the finish line and into the turn where Sierra Leone just puts him way behind, right? He's got a lot of endurance, a lot of ability, and he holds off his stablemate quite well here.
Just an impressive horse, whether it's working out in the mornings, seeing him just on the backside or anywhere. He's a horse that just commands respect. He commands his presence, and very excited to see him as he is going to arrive here later on today. So you'll get a chance to see Sierra Leone probably on track starting tomorrow or the next day. But he and stablemate Domestic Product both scheduled to arrive today. But going to be taking a look back here in just a moment at some of the times for the workouts we had here yesterday on the grounds with our Kentucky Derby contenders. Just Steal going a mile for the coach.
Going a mile, I love it, right? That's the that throwback. That's the old school coach. We appreciate him for that. Going longer, trying to make sure he gets that 1.25 miles in him. He knows he's plenty fit. He's matured in a big way, mentally and physically, and I love the fact that we're doing things a little bit differently. And of course, Mystic Dan, that time with Northern Flame, the Bullet, best of 71 yesterday. So Ken McPeak's runners are firing quite nice in the morning.
Yes, Kenny McPeak with bullets in the chamber when it comes to his Derby and Oaks horses. And I believe there's a chance we can maybe throw up the Kentucky Oaks leaderboard here and take a look at some of those horses. There they are Star, and Tarifa sitting on top. Jinjin, they worked in company yesterday, but Torpedo Anna, I think, was really the star of the show.
Yeah, she was. She just accelerates so smoothly, so easily, and worked really sharp in the morning. So a really strong runner, just 1 3-year-old start, and she looked great in the last.
Go ahead and turn the page and look at the remainder of the Kentucky Oaks leaderboard horses here. Our Pretty Woman worked this morning. We did not get that on tape, but she was another one of the Asmussen workers, and really the only two that we had scheduled today.
Yeah, Ways and Means. How about that Chad Brown runner? Didn't have the best trip running second in the Gulfstream Park Oaks to Power Squeeze, who's also in this field. Also ran second in the Spinaway, but I think she should improve off that last effort.
Speaking of horses that worked today, let's go ahead and take a look back at the early morning work for Track Phantom. Kevin, you and I, we're both on tab for this, watching out on the balcony. He's going to be on the outside there. Thank you to the Steve Asmussen team for putting his saddle towel on him. You can identify him wearing the highlighter yellow Derby saddle cloth. Stablemate Carbone going to be on the inside here, Kevin. Yeah,
the first thing you want to note is blinkers are on for Track Phantom. This is a new addition to his equipment. So much, Caitlin, as you know, when we're watching these workouts, trying to just figure out what the trainer's design is, what their intention is with the work, how they put it together, what they're trying to get out of it. Company they keep, that's one big question. Who do you want to put your horse with in the morning? Carbone with Track Phantom. We saw Otto the Conqueror with Our Pretty Woman. Those are really nice peers, fellow 3-year-olds who have run really well this year. Strong numbers, strong alphas, and Track Phantom does a good job of ranging up on Carbone, making a nice move here. He does need a reminder, or a little bit of an urging, I should say, to get by him and put a surge forward. But I like this work by Track Phantom.
Tyler Gaffleone was on board. They're working Our Pretty Woman and Track Phantom. And Joel Rosario scheduled to be the rider in the Kentucky Derby for Track Phantom. Tyler, of course, going to be on the points leader, Sierra Leone, but was on hand to work out Track Phantom there this morning as you see him galloping out. And he's kind of a long, rangy looking type of a horse, I would say.
Yeah, he's a good looking horse. He's been so impressive, specifically to me at Fairgrounds, the way he's been able to hold off bids from anybody who's sort of up near him and pressing him. Now, can he hold off the likes of a deep closer like Sierra Leone who's flying late? That's the big question. Can he get the distance? Another question I have.
Speaking of horses that are going to be flying late, the designated training hours for Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks horses is underway. We're getting a look out there at Honor Marie. As I said, a horse that's going to potentially be flying late in the Kentucky Derby. This is trainer Whit Beckman's first Kentucky Derby starter. Ben Curtis, I believe, is scheduled to be the jockey, and first Kentucky Derby for the both of them.
Yeah, what a great story in a lot of ways. Whit Beckman, has worked with Chad Brown, has worked with Todd Pletcher, so he's been on this path, just not as the headlining member of the barn. And Anna Marie has been doing fantastic, at Fairgrounds ever since winning the Jockey Club here at Churchill in November. A relaxed customer, a cool customer, a very mellow horse, has a great mind, very mentally mature. Definitely saw, in between the Risen Star and the Louisiana Derby, a good move forward as expected by Whit Beckman. And I think the goal is in the Kentucky Derby that he'll take another step forward, and the distance will really help him do that. He's relaxed. When Ben Curtis came off of him last in the Louisiana Derby, he said he's so relaxed, I can put him wherever I want him to be. So it was a nice late run in tandem with Catching Freedom in that race. We'll see if he can do a similar effort this first Saturday in May.
Going to be taking a look at a horse that is scheduled to make her second start of the season in the Kentucky Oaks. They're with her trainer who was on his pony, Bill Mott. This is just FYI, your champion 2-year-old filly ran last out and finished a good second last out in the Ashland.
Yeah, so returns to the track after working on Friday in company with Resilience. I expect we'll see Resilience out there as well after they had a walk day yesterday. Just FYI, winner of the Frizette, winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, only one race as a few of these in the Oaks as a 3-year-old. Yeah, and a good second there. So in the Ashland, we'll see if she can move forward off that. She's definitely been impressive so far in her career.
We do have a shot of Resilience, the other Bill Mott horse you mentioned. We're just kind of walking around a little bit yesterday. Here is Resilience. Surprise winner almost of the Wood last time out, and he seems to be another horse that's going to be peaking at the right time.
Yeah, he does seem to be peaking at the right time. Distance has always been the angle with him. When he came back from his run in the Risen Star, Johnny V thought that he ran really well. The distance was great for him, just still a little bit green. We saw him put the blinkers on and get it done very impressively in the Wood Memorial. Move forward in terms of speed figures, so he could be one of those horses that are on the rise at the right time. A recent equipment change, that's probably the horse that we can trust. Can he step forward and will the distance help him out? I think so. So Resilience does seem to be one who you want to keep definitely on in your top 10 of Derby hopefuls.
Would he probably be maybe like a C type for you, one of those underneath type of plays?
Yeah, he'd be more underneath. It'd be hard for me to trust him to put him on top, right? But I do think that with the right trip, he can definitely get it done. The question marks with him: Wood Memorial, who did he beat? How strong was that company? But the figures, sometimes just the speed figures don't lie, and he ran well last time. Move forward. That's what I want to see in that race right before the Derby.
I think Honor Marie can maybe be a similar type of a horse like that. I think you kind of have a group of 5 or 6 that are going to be coming from off the pace that are kind of those quote-unquote C types that will be good prices that you could throw in through 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th if you're playing the super high 5.
Yeah, I would move Honor Marie up to a B, and I was actually making this list last night, just trying to get all my opinions down before getting too clouded with all the opinions of others out there, right, as it goes. So Honor Marie, I do think, will move forward in a good way, but it's all about the trip for Honor Marie, right? These closers, when they're coming from the back, who's going to get the best one, who's going to get the clearest path? That's just the key, and that's a lot to do with the draw, which we'll have next Saturday, and how it all shakes forward with the break. So Resilience will be up closer, a little bit more forward, and should still be able to show us some. So he looks happy, looks like he's doing good after his work, and we'll see if he gives us a gallop.
Lots of horses worked yesterday and had some serious gallops. Most of the horses that we saw on the work tab here yesterday were probably just going to be having walk days in the barn. Forever Young, he had a little bit of a stronger gallop yesterday. He is scheduled to work on Tuesday, I'm told by Kevin Kirstein. Thank you, Kevin, for all of that information that you're supplying us with and keeping the ball rolling here. I'm told Forever Young is going to be having a walk day in his barn, and he's another one that I think is going to be rolling from off the turn with those other closers.
Yeah, Forever Young. Well, I think he could be a little bit forward, right?
Yeah, he could be.
In that stalking position, tracking position. We'll see. It seems like Teo Password might be one that tries to get things heated up, and that might sort of help out Forever Young with his kick. 5 for 5. He's been impressive. I mean, Caitlin, I know you got to love it as much as I do. When these Japanese horses get here, we get to watch their training style. We get to learn how they see the horse, how they treat the horse, and how they try to get the best from their contingency. So usually spends about 45 minutes on the track, 20 minutes in the chute, lots of time making turns, and really great to see all their techniques.
Kevin Kirsty and I are going to be asking some questions from Yoshida Yahagi's team within the next couple of days about Forever Young. There's definitely some things that I am curious about, and getting a look here at somebody else here on the track, waiting to see if we can identify that horse there that is going about. It's Honor Marie again. We were just talking about him, speaking of horses that are potentials to be coming from off the pace. And tell me a little bit more as to why you have this one elevated up to a B on your list.
Well, just talking to Whit Beckman, he's always thought that 1.25 miles is the distance for him, and really wanted to bring him back slowly and slowly unlock him, right? That's, some trainers are going to try to get their best effort in those preps and really just try to get them to the top of their game, sooner the better. Others are going to use those races to move them forward, right? Just a different technique, and Honor Marie is one that's been, slowly unlocked has been the goal for Whit Beckman. A relaxed horse, a calm horse, I think is very key when you have this strange situation of 20 horses, 150,000, I think, on hand, and a furthest distance that they're probably going to go. So all those sort of new and uncertainty aspects, when you've got a good mind, I think that's really key. That maturity aspect of Honor Marie is huge.
We talked about a lot of the Brad Cox horses that were on track, had some workouts yesterday. Here is Encino, a late entrant into the Kentucky Derby picture here, getting a win in the Lexington not too long ago.
Yeah, winner of the Lexington, and not only a strong winner.
An emphatic winner.
Yeah, it ran a 2 on Thoroughgraph. Now that is the same number that Just a Touch has run in his 3 races. So you might think Just a Touch, you got to go with that one in terms of the Cox barn. The talent is there, the hype has been there. Definitely impressive in the mornings, but Encino just really took a great step forward. Now he had a really a clean, easy comfortable trip on the lead, which does make things go better. And Keeneland's playing a little bit forward too, so I think that could have probably helped his times come back quick. But that was a big run by Encino, winner of the Battaglia as well.
Yeah, this is a horse that I'm pretty familiar with from Turfway, and I really expected this horse, as he did, to improve getting over the dirt. He's kind of a late type of maturing horse, but he's a horse that keeps taking steps forward, and he is one that I do expect, along with Teo Password, potentially Dornock, Fierceness, maybe even Mystic Dan, Track Phantom, and a few others are going to be very prominent early. But we're going to go ahead and take a look back at Resilience again, getting a look at him galloping here for the Belmont barn.
Yeah, so, when we watch him gallop, when we watch him in the mornings, what are we looking for, right? That's a big thing that I've spent the past couple of years as a notes writer up on the rail watching them. And for me, it's a lot of just, A, their confidence, right? How they're holding themselves, their energy. B, how are they responding to the track? Are they sort of bearing it, grinning and bearing it, and just sort of moving across it, or are they gathering energy from it? What I'm seeing from Resilience right now, I like. I see his confidence. I see the way he's holding himself. He's asserting himself. He's got a really nice carriage. He's holding his head, he's focused, and I think he's looking like he's got his game face on, that he's getting ready to show us another good effort.
I would absolutely agree with that. Ears pricked, just kind of looks like he's doing it all well within himself. He looks very, very relaxed, just kind of ignoring a lot of the other horses out there on the track. There's not as many out today. As we mentioned, we had a lot of workers yesterday. A lot of horses going to be doing some barn walking and just out there freewheeling and enjoying himself.
Yeah, nice rhythm, and I think you're right in terms of the distractions, right? So much with thoroughbreds is how their mind can get split in different directions, right? Be distracted, be spooked, be sort of just not focused, right? And we're seeing just a really professional, light gallop here this morning on the track.
He looks like a horse to me that's a little bit lighter in frame, kind of has a little bit more of a lean chest, longer types of legs, just a rangy looking type of a horse. But he's not a horse that I'm as familiar with him coming in from New York.
Yeah, he looked great at Fairgrounds. He just came in right before the race there, so I wasn't seeing him work out in the mornings. But definitely, the way you're talking about him and the way that I see him too is distance, right? You see a horse like that who's got this sort of build, distance will definitely suit him. Interesting, Bill Mott had Rocket Can last year. He put the blinkers on him for the Derby. We saw Rocket Can come back recently at Oaklawn and run very well and get the win, but he didn't run that great in the Kentucky Derby. But the blinkers go on the race before for Resilience. We don't see the blinkers on this morning as he gets his exercise on the Churchill track. Let's
go ahead and take it back to Encino for trainer Brad Cox. He's starting to get his gallop here. He's kind of a little bit of a different frame horse as we took a look at Encino. Resilience. Encino here. This horse a little bit more compact and a little bit more muscular type that's a little bit more slight.
Right, and so since he just raced recently with the Lexington, we haven't seen him drill since then, right? I imagine we'll see one this week, and I'm not sure exactly what the plan is for Encino, but he seems like he came out of that race great. He's moving fantastic. Another one with his head forward, his ears, you can see kind of moving around a little bit, maybe listening for the rider, looking for cues. That's another big thing that I look for, Caitlin, is how are they responding to the rider? How are they paying attention? When that works well, when the rider and horse are, in harmony, I think that's just the best case scenario when you've got a mature horse that can really, listen and respond to the guide.
As long as Godolphin and the Brad Cox barn continue to press forward here with this horse running in the Kentucky Derby, will be interesting to see who will be named the mount for Encino. He is open as Florent Giroux won the Grade 3 Lexington on board him, but Flo is going to be on just a touch.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see who rides Encino. I don't have any insight into that, but it's also really amazing to see that Brad Cox, over the past 3 years, he's had at least 3 entrants in the Kentucky Derby. Last year with 4. So that barn, has got to be very proud of not only getting that win with Mandaloun in 2021 when they had 2 entries the first year that Cox had runners in the Kentucky Derby, but since then have gone 3, 4, and now another year with 3.
Angel of Empire went off as the favorite in last year's Derby, ran 3rd in there, and the Outlaw family stable back again with Catching Freedom.
Yeah, I was just looking at the odds last night. I was like, wait a minute, Angel of Empire was the favorite.
I
right?
always forget that he was the favorite because for some reason I wanted to think that it was somebody else, and I can't remember who I was thinking it was. And when I look back at the chart, I was like, Angel of Empire. That was a race, you know, of course, the late scratch of Forte.
Yeah.
But it was really a toss-up who the favorite is going to be. For some reason, I thought it was Tapit Trice.
Yeah, Tapit Trice was the second favorite. That's what I was going to say, who didn't draw nicely but didn't run that well. And a horse that I didn't think was loving the track here. Just didn't seem to have a lot of rhythm and response in terms of how he was moving over the track. And it was a horse I was just getting familiar with last year, but it was something that you could kind of notice. But Encino just moving nicely this morning. It seems like he's rearing up, got race on his mind, and we'll see if he gets that forward nod to go to the front. I mean, that's the big question, right? When you've got a lot of speed signed on, you know the Derby tends to have a very hot pace. Do you want to be leading that? Do you want to be a part of that? How do you want to position yourself?
It's so funny to me because I've seen a few people online that have said, do you think the pace will be slow in the Derby this year? The pace is never that slow in the Derby ever because they start up very far in the top of the stretch. They're kind of like back in the corner a little bit just off of the far turns. They have the whole stretch to work with to get cooking early on. And looking at the horses that are the probables on the list for the Derby, I can't imagine why you would think the pace would be slow in this race. I think it's going to be pretty hot. Yeah,
it should heat up, right? Just getting that positioning from the gate is so hard, and it just kind of pushes you forward. But you can see that big caboose on it, and you know he's got natural speed. He'll use it from the gates, I guarantee.
T.O. Password, another one that we talked about. He's going to be arriving a little bit later on in the week. Excited to get a look at him. He was the invite on the road to the Kentucky Derby via Japan, so will join a fellow countryman Forever Young. And I think there's a chance that he's the fastest out of the gate and will probably be the most prominent with horses like Encino, Track Phantom, and Dornoch not too far off.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the work yesterday with Dornoch and Society, man, I expected to see Dornoch back on the lead in terms of the design of the work, but we saw him coming from behind and really not pushing forward past that closer, Society man. And, you know, I definitely trust Danny Gargan to make the right moves, but I was hoping to see just Dornoch get back into the mindset of being at the front after the experiment with rating him for the Bluegrass Stakes, which didn't go so well. As we've known, his best running has come forward, and he's proven he can come back on closers. I think there's a lot to like about Dornoch at the front.
Earlier on track when we started the training session, Where's My Ring, coming out of New York, breaking her maiden in the Gazelle Stakes. Let's go ahead and take a look back at Where's My Ring. Here she is galloping and getting going there. She had a little bit of a 2 furlong lick there, and then she went around continuing onto the track and galloped for quite some time. So a little bit of a serious piece of work here from Where's My Ring.
Oh, this is great to see. So yeah, 2 furlongs. I like it. A little bit of opening up the lungs, get things going, getting that fitness in, let her know why she's here, right? That she's here to get it done and to be quick. We've definitely seen some, front running victory at Santa Anita there. For her maiden win, or sorry, she didn't win that one. She broke her maiden in the Gazelle, right?
She did,
yes. Lost by half a length there, but went to the front. So she came from off of it when she went further at 1 1/8 in the Gazelle, and so distance has proven kind to her. She made a great move forward, 104 in terms of Brisnet speed figures. So that's a big effort and one of the top ones in the field.
Yeah, she's a horse that has just kind of ran into some really good fillies out there in California that were peaking at just the right time. She's a horse that is peaking at just the right time here. I think she's actually what I would probably call the wild card here in the Kentucky Oaks because we don't really know much about her, just has that lone win, but was in a 100-point race for the Kentucky Oaks. So she's really earned her way here, and she just seems to be a horse that is continuing to progress forward in her 3-year-old season. This is her gallop out of that 2 furlong lick there. That was Where's My Ring, and getting a look there at some other horses here. Trackside is, we can take a look back at some other things, and I believe that we do have some promos from Twin Spires that we maybe can take a look back at here as we wrap up these morning training hours. 7:48 was 7:30 to 7:45 that we did have those training hours for the Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks horses. There is the $10 money back special here for the Kentucky Derby week. From the first race on opening night, Saturday, April 27th, through the last race on Kentucky Derby Day, Saturday, May 4th, Twin Spires is offering insurance on your win bets All eligible races at Churchill Downs in the form of a $10 money back offer, and races with at least 5 horses earn your money back on win bets up to $10. If your horse runs second in races with at least 8 horses, earn your money back on win bets up to $10. If your horse runs second or third, head back to twinspires.com or the TwinSpires app, select the offers page, and opt in to participate on the Derby Week money back. Kevin, this is a great type of promotion to get that insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. You can take a swing with confidence on the win pool, which is usually the pool you want to be in for most races, besides maybe the Derby, right, where you can get some good value in the place and show, and you can get money back, opt in, all those great offers. There's tons of them always coming at you from Twin Spires.
Also, another promotion going to be coming at you from Twin Spires. This is the Thursday leaderboard contest. This is going to start $2,500 on Thurby for each race at Churchill Downs on Thurby. Make at least $10 win wager on a single horse and earn points if that horse runs first, second, or third, and climb up the leaderboard for your share of that prize. This contest is free to enter. All you have to do is head to twinspires.com or the TwinSpires app and select the offers page and opt into the Thurby Thursday leaderboard contest, and even more leaderboard contests and major tournament TwinSpires offers here on the horizon. Now's a great time to get involved and get started with the Thurby leaderboard contest. It's a lot of tongue twisters there in a row, but Thurby, always a good time. Kevin, I'm excited to see you enjoy Thurby. It's a very unique type of an experience. It's kind of that warm-up to the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks, and it's a fun day for the locals here, but we're going to be wrapping up this day of the Twin Spires morning work show here for the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks, and final thoughts of what we've seen the last couple of days.
Yeah, you know, this morning seeing Encino, really loved his energy, resilience as well. I thought that they just are showing that they're enjoying this track, that they're moving well, and that they're ready to take another step forward.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. What we saw from Encino, good energy as well from Honor Marie. Torpedo Anna, for me yesterday, has really been the star of the show so far. And I looked at a quote that trainer Kenny McPeak had, and he said, "They better bring a bear in the Kentucky Oaks because I am bringing a grizzly, and I wouldn't be afraid to run her against the Colts." So Torpedo Anna has been the one I have been most impressed with as of now, but we'll continue to see some more horses working and making on-track appearances in the next couple of days. We're going to see a lot of those horses that worked yesterday coming back on track tomorrow, but tomorrow it's going to be Joe Christofek and your first look at James Scully, and he is going to be here to tell you they're going to be live here tomorrow for the Kentucky Derby morning workout show presented by Twin Spires. So Kevin, Caitlin, going to be signing off, and good luck for your wagers for the rest of the day and the next week. Good morning and goodbye.